WTIC News Talk 1080. Today, I'd like to talk to you about asparagus and planting asparagus. Now, normally in a regular garden or in a raised bed, you would plant asparagus in rows by making trenches, filling them with manure, and then putting the plants in here. I plant all of my vegetables in pots because my soil is very, very wet here. My water table is very close to the surface. And even a raised bed isn't enough to keep the roots from rotting. Unfortunately, with asparagus, it's a perennial plant. And that means that it grows year after year, and I've got to protect its roots from freezing. Now, the roots of a plant are the most susceptible to winter damage. What I've done is to build an oversized cold frame, which I'm going to call an asparagus house because I think it'll raise the value of my property, saying that I have an asparagus house. But essentially all it is a large cold frame with these old windows. I'll keep the windows on during the winter and early spring, take them off, and allow the asparagus plants to grow up into the sun during the summer. I think also I'll be able to produce asparagus spears sooner by forcing them a little bit in the early spring with the greenhouse effect that the cold frame will produce. Now, the pots that I'm using are these 10-gallon nursery pots. These are blown plastic. They're available on the web. Just Google 10-gallon nursery pots, plastic pots, and they're available through the mail from a number of companies. Now let's plant our asparagus. Okay, I purchased these purple asparagus roots. They're dormant plants. You can see that there are some new shoots coming up to the front. What I'm going to do is to put these, I filled the pots with cow manure, composted cow manure. Now it has to be composted, it has to be 2 or 3 years old anyway. You can use horse manure, but it has to be old and composted, black, and smell like earth. Remember, if it's fresh, it's just poop, it's not compost. You don't want to use that. So I'm going to take these roots and put one for the time being in each pot. Lay them out like a spider. Now, as you can see, I've left some space on top because I do want to put some more soil or compost on top. And every succeeding year, as the compost disappears, I'm going to be adding to the top. Asparagus are heavy feeders. They're very heavy feeders, so you need to keep adding a compost every year. They like a neutral pH, but that shouldn't be a problem up here in Connecticut with compost as your base. Now, when you're picking your asparagus roots, look for nice big buds on the top, on the crown, and a fresh, flexible look to the roots. These are the most healthy. They have to be firm, they have to be flexible, not dry. The more of these nice shoots you have, the more healthy the plant that will grow from them. Now, for about $6, I was able to fill 12 pots, 12-gallon pots, 12 10-gallon pots with 2 roots each, which is plenty. Now that I've laid them out, I'm just going to cover them with more. Now that I put the compost on, I'm going to water. Notice that I'm not fertilizing at all. There's plenty of nutrition in the compost, and I, as a rule, never fertilize anything because I use a lot of compost. I never fertilize what I'm planting, not for the first year. As a matter of fact, most of my yard, except for my vegetable garden, never gets anything but compost, and it never gets fertilized with conventional or additional fertilizers. You don't need it. All right, we'll let that settle. And in 2 years, wow, we'll have a great meal. This is Len from Garden Talk, hoping that you'll listen to us 12 to 2 p.m. every Saturday on WTIC News Talk 1080, or anywhere in the world streaming live at WTIC.com. Just press the on-air option. Now, if you can't sleep at night, we also have recorded some of our programs. You can go to WTIC.com, keyword garden, and listen to any one of our programs for the last 6 months or so. You'll be asleep in no time. Until then, we'll see you in the garden.